Hello YouTube, this is Mike Make44 here, and today we are going to be making a 3D game, or try to at least. Of course, it won't have that good FPS because, again, we're coding it with pure Java, so I hope you guys enjoy. Anyways, to begin with, we're going to be working on our vectors. Now, I like to make one huge class for vectors, starting with an array of characters. Next, I like to make a constructor that go ahead and take out an any number of characters for the variables. So, values. Give me a second here. I think I might have made it a little bit too big. Give me a second, guys. I gotta go change the size a bit. I'm gonna change it to 15 characters. I think that should be good. Uh, Apparently no. Let's try 18 or 17. Yeah, that looks way better. Okay. So, when I pass away these arguments, I like to make a copy of them. It's not an exact copy, it's the exact same values. On the other hand, when I send in a variable from this, I like to make a copy of it. So, I'm going to use copy of v. So, public vector copy of vector v. Now, yes, I could do it that way, but I like to actually do array equals new double v.array.length. Or to better help us out to getting it, I'll just declare a len. And then I'm going to go through and loop through the len. Now this is normally how I like to do my coding style, but I could try something a little bit new like this. Only thing this one's going to do is return new vector v. And over here, I want to do this.array of I equals v.array of I. And that's pretty much just copying it. Now, I like to keep track of the length. Now, you notice here how I'm using public. That's because everyone could be able to access it. And it's not that hard to declare. But instead of doing len, I can now use the length. And it just saves us on the variable productions. I'm probably going to want to change the code style of that. I think it's format. Right here. And I'm going to declare a new one. I'm going to call profile mine. I don't even know if you guys can see me editing the settings. And I want to give the brace positions. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make it look better. Okay, and now if I do Control Shift, okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is make some basic variables. I want to make a vector map, first of all, and it's just going to have a simple map function. Double value, int index. Actually, I think I'm going to do the other way around. And it's not that hard. So we have a way to copy a vector, we have a way to make a copy of. But wait, what if we wanted to do copy of a certain array? This is where a static function will come in handy. Public static vector copy of double values. And the only thing it's really going to be doing is taking this information and setting them up. So double array copy equals new double array values.length. And instead of doing this, we're just going to return the copy. But there's one more important step that I forgot to mention. Public double hidden. Because I like to keep track of a hidden component. And by default, I'll just set that to 1. It's not that hard to describe about, but yeah. So this makes a copy of a full-on array rather than just using the array. There's one more constructor I would like to make. Public vector double array values double hidden. So it literally does this and then just sets hidden to hidden. Now that we have these made, let's go ahead and work on the actual methods. The first of which is the vector map. And how this works is pretty straight simple. Okay. Output of I equals v.map I of array of I. And then we're just going to return new vector of output. Now, can anyone guess how the setMap function would work? Well, this is even simpler because you're literally just going through the length now. And you're setting array of I equal to v.map of I of array of I. But here comes the question, what if the values aren't supposed to be changed until after the map's been done? And this is where output would still come in handy. Just like that. And then you just return this. So we got both setMap and a map function. The next function we would like to add is the add function. Now again, we don't know any size or blah blah blah, so before we even do that, we need our getters. Hello game time, what's up? And also our setters. Extra methods. Okay. So our getter is going to be pretty simple. You're just going to provide the index. If index is less than array dot, well, we don't even need to say that, we could just say length. Then we could just return array of index. Else if index equals the length, we want to return the hidden. We could do that, but I want to put hidden separately. So otherwise, we're just going to return 0. How you doing, game time? Next, we're going to return a getHidden method, which is just going to return the hidden. And my mouse decided to die. At the exact same time, whoa, we want a way to set an index to a certain value. So if index is less than the length, I forgot to provide and is greater or equal to 0. Because again, you could provide a negative index and that would mess things up. Oh, just decided to record today. I'll be recording later on something much more interesting. It's just right now I feel like coding the 3D engine. I was like, what if some people are interested in it? Of course, we need a set hidden method. This.hidden equals hidden. Return this. Okay, now we can make the add method. And I'm just going to write a type of function system like this. So this is a specific type of function that's going to be returning. I forgot to do int index double val. Val plus v.give index. So right now I'm just coding a vector class because the vector class is going to come in very handy. I'll just name this vector instead of v, so nah, I'll leave it v. And then of course we need the set equivalence. And now I'm going to have subtract, multiply, divide, modulus. So the first four here are just going to be scrolled down because we know those are correct. subtract. So pretty much I'm just writing a default system right now to handle vectors and vertexes. Right now we're just working on the vector class. I mean, with the way I'm writing, you shouldn't really need to really add the comments in my opinion, because it's pretty straightforward what everything does. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's not going to be the fastest engine, but it's going to work nevertheless. Oh, I messed up there. Next up, I want to make the power class. And the reason why I separated this from the individual ones is because it's not written in the same type of fashion. Anyways, I have no idea if people are actually going to see this video or like it, but I thought I would give it a try, you know? It's pretty straightforward what each of these methods does, though. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Controls. So, in case you guys are wondering how I'm formatting, I'm clicking Control Shift F. Anyways, we have power, min, max. So just like we did before, I'm just going to scroll down the first four. And now I'm going to work on the min max. I'm using Eclipse. I guess I should have mentioned that at the very beginning. But yeah, the IDE I'm using is called Eclipse, and I'm using a Java project. I tried C++ before, but it just ended up being way slower than Java. So that's why I'm using Java, in case you're wondering. Anyways, there's a couple more functions I want to have here. And the first one is clamp. And this could get a bit tricky to say, but it's not that hard. So I'm going to return value, math.min, math.max of value to the min get of index to the max.give index. How this works is it's going to clamp it between the min and the max, so it's going to be Let's say, for example, if the min is 0 and the max is 1, it won't be able to go before 1. I mean, it won't be able to go before 0, so meaning it won't be anywhere negative. At the exact same time, it won't go higher than the max. So I'm not very good at describing that. But at the exact same time, we have the same equivalent, but with doubles that I'm going to be using. And again, you just get rid of this get of index. Anyways, we're almost done with the vector class. There's just a few extra methods I want to add now that we have this. The first way is to get the length pretty much. But before I can even do that, I need to get the dot product. And this could get very interesting depending on how it is. But I like to just collect the min between the length and the v length. Then I like to save the sum into a variable. And then I go through the whole entire thing and I do sum plus equals array of I times v array of I. And then I could just return the sum. And length now, I'm going to return the square root of a dot of this. And that's really all the length is. Next, I want a way for you to be able to set the length. Double L, or len for short, equals the value divided by the length. Return set map into index double value. And this is really just going to return value times len. Oh, we already have value in use, right? New length. And really, that's as simple as that one gets. Public vector normalize. So we collect the length again, and we return the map of int index double value and value divided by L. Or to be more precise, it's len. And the set map does the exact same thing as normal. Now, I want to change this to an abstract class. And the reason why, let me go back down here, is because I want to have an abstract method. And that's going to be the cross between another vector. And at this point, our vector class is pretty much straightforward done. But if I do that, I won't be able to actually do it. So never mind, I'm just going to leave it as a regular vector. And instead of being abstract, I'm just going to return null. And we'll just override it when we get to it. The next method I want is string to string. And this is not going to be too hard. Return message equals vector parenthesis plus length plus parentheses bracket. And then I'm going to go through each bit of the length. I'm going to say if I is not equal to 0, we take the return message and we add comma space. And no matter what happens, we're going to add array of I. And then we're going to return the return message. It's not that hard. And there's one more thing that I need to do. Public boolean equals object O. So if O instance of vector, vector V equals vector O, return false out here. If v.length equals length, continue on. For I equals 0, I is less than length, I plus plus. And we're going to go ahead and just say if v.array of I is not equal to, array of I, return false. Otherwise, outside the loop, we're going to return true. And that's everything for the vector class. Whew, that was a lot. But now we want to get into the vertex. The vertex is going to have a vector to represent the pause. It's also going to have an array list of vector to represent the changing values, pretty much, but I'm going to call it modifiables. And it's going to have an array list, map, actually, of string and vector. This one is going to hold the data. And we're just going to do public vertex vector pause. This.pause equals pause copy of. I think I messed up that. Pause. Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, guys. The copy of function is supposed to be a static, not an actual method to use there. Extra method should be copy. Return new vector this. Cool. So instead of being this, we're just going to use copy. Modifiables equals new hash map. Data equals new hash map. And that's all the constructor really is. There's going to be one more constructor that's going to take in this. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and remove that because, again, I want to use copy of to go ahead and handle that. Now, you're going to see this get a little bit more complicated. Modify length and data length. So there's actually going to be getting a little bit complicated of how it's actually being done. And yes, I could just leave it, or I could not, but I'm going to do an array list of string keys equals new array list of string. I'm going to put modifiables.keyset. Then I'm going to do for int I equals 0, I is less than modify length I plus plus string key. I'm actually going to put that out here because it uses less memory. And I'm going to collect that one key. With that one key, I'm going to go ahead, it's v.keys. It's not this modifiable, it's the v modifiable. And now I'm going to do put key v.modifiables.get of key. We currently don't have a put method, and I want to put modifiable. And I'm going to just put it up here for now. String key vector v if modifiables.contains key, and if it does not, we're just going to put it in. And we're going to change the modify length by 1. Else, we're just going to put it in. And it's not really that hard. Return this. We're going to do the exact same thing with data, but it's going to be object. And it's going to be data length. So we're just going to store the information in there. But because it's a copy, we have to do copy of. Next, we're going to do the exact same thing, but for data length. But we're going to be reusing this variable. And it's not really that hard. We just do the exact same thing, but we change this to put data, and we do data. That's how you make a copy of. Public static vertex copy of vertex v, return new vertex v. And public static vertex copy of vector pause. Return new vertex pause.copy. And it's not really that hard. We can't copy the data though, so it has to be remaining the same. So let's go ahead and minimize everything. Okay. At the end, what we want to be able to do is have getters and setters. So public vector get pause, return pause.copy. Public vector get modifiable, string name. If modifiables.contains key name, then we want to return modifiables.get name. Otherwise, we're just going to return null. And we need public object get data, string name. If data contains key name, return data.giveName. Return null. And in my opinion, that's kind of self-explanatory. In fact, we're not even going to make a copy of them. I guess the put data would be actually put under setters. So let's go put those down here. And of course, we need a way to set the set pause vector pause. This.pause equals pause. And really, it's that simple. Everything else remains the same. Except for I want to put a copy function. Public vertex copy, return new vertex this. Now keep in mind, I haven't done any actual methods. This is just the getters, setters, and all that. Now we're going to get into the fun. Vertex map. Public vector map string name. And this is where another great thing will have to come in. Boolean is pause. So we'll begin with that, then we'll do string name, and finally vector v. So it contains 3 variables of data. So again, public vertex, vertex map v, and this is going to declare a new vertex. I'm going to name it ants for answer, equals new vertex v.map true pause pause. And now that we did that, we now want to go ahead and do the full thing, right? Well, how can we do that? Instead of doing this, the way that we're doing it here, we're going to copy our vertex. Then we're going to do ans.pause equals v.map true pause pause. And we're going to go for modifiable length. Again, we need to have a list of keys. And if you guys remember how we did it before, to get the list of keys, we just literally type in the one that we want to go through, and then key set. We go ahead and collect the information again. We do ands dot modifiables dot put key v dot map false key ands dot modifiables dot give key. And then we return this. I mean, not this. We don't even return on this, do we? Oh, it's because I forgot to put map. And we're going to return the answer. The set map, on the other hand, does not use a copy and modifies the variable right off the bat. In fact, over here we want to use answers.pause because it is a copy. And over here we just want to return this. Now that we have this, we can now do the official add. And again, we're going to do map boolean is pause string name vector val and now we're going to say if is pause return val dot add set add v dot pause. What's wrong with this? Oh, I forgot the second parenthesis. Otherwise, we're going to return val set add v dot get modifiable of name. But wait, that means again we have to check if it's valid or not. Because now these could have a possibility of not being valid. So I'm going to add another thing where we could do a default type. So let's go over here and let's make another one that comes with a default type. Vector default type. Instead of returning that, you just return default type. The same thing can be said with data. And that's how we go ahead and bypass that. Again, we want value, and And now instead of v's, it will be just value. And at killers, we need to set add variations. Just like that. And just like the vectors, we're going to have subtract, multiply, divide, modulus. In fact, we're almost done with this video, guys. So again, we're handling the subtract now. You notice here how I'm only using set subtract and stuff like that? The main reason why I'm doing that is because we already made a copy. We don't need to make another copy of a copy. That would be very awkward. We need multiply. And before I end this video, I would like to actually test this out so you guys could see what it would look like. At the moment, today's video is just all about these two classes. In fact, because of how long this episode's going to be, I might have to divide it up to two parts. Yeah, I think I will have to do that. The testing of the individual sections that we made. But this is going to help us greatly in making our 3D engine. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something because I think I missed some on the multiply maybe? One, two, yeah. Okay, so we need two more on divide. I'm sorry, guys. I like to normally keep them in the same level, but it didn't happen this time. Some of you guys were probably yelling at me earlier. Also, I found out that a lot of my videos, while I'm streaming, I found out I have to wait a little bit before the stream ends. But anyways, that should be all that we need for the vector. But I want to write an equals method. And there's going to be two variations. Equals pause. If we only want to figure out if it equals the pause. and then public boolean equals. Now you may notice I'm not doing toString here. I don't know if I am going to put toString for this one. Ah, what am I doing? So you see here, that's the first thing I have to do, is make sure those two are equal. I'm going to do a little bit of a shortcut to give keys. So if get modifiable s dot equals v dot get modifiable s, and if it does not, return false, return true. And that should go ahead and handle everything the way we want it. Uh, but anyways, guys, thank you guys for liking. If you got, watching. If you guys liked this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And in the next video, I'll probably make it so you can retrieve a vector data from a string format, and I'll probably go ahead and test it out. So I'll see you guys then. Peace. I'm gonna wait an extra minute before I exit out just in case it doesn't record it.